Today we will be making mac and cheese. So we're going to start off with 3 cups of the macaroni cheese and we're going to put that into a pot of boiling water. Excellent. So pasta generally takes between 7 and 10 minutes to cook. I always like to set a timer because then you remember to go back to it. And you really want to go for that 8 sort of minute mark and then check in there, see how you're going. But we'll go on to make the sauce next. So you need a second pot, so you need a saucepan. So something a bit smaller will be fine, so something like this. Essentially it needs to be able to fit about 1 litre or 2 litres in it. So find a saucepan of that sort of size. And what we'll be doing is you're going to be needing 1 litre of milk. But to make the sauce, we're going to use most of the milk to start with, and we're going to reserve a little bit of that 1 litre to make a cornflour mixture. So the cornflour mixture we'll be adding in later, and that really helps with the thickening process. So if you're going to measure out 1 litre of your milk, I've got a jug here. And then I've just got another little jug here, so I'm just going to pour off a little bit to save for my cornflour mixture. About 100 ml. Doesn't have to be exact, so just about 100 ml. Just a bit of a splash so we can work with that cornflour mixture. So then what we do is we're going to put the larger portion of the milk, so the big 900 ml-ish, into a pot. We're going to pop it on the stove and really gently warm it up. So with the milk, it's really important that we don't boil the milk. So as I was saying before, the spa bath happening with the water for the pasta, that's a boil. With our milk, we need to be a bit more gentle, so a bit of a slower heat. And we'll know that it's warming up because we'll start to get a couple of bubbles, just really gentle bubbles, but not that aggressive boiling temperature. Put that on the stove now to warm it up. So in your small jug you will need some corn flour. We're going to need 4 tablespoons of corn flour. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but you will see once we add it to our hot milk, that's going to really thicken up that whole pot of milk. So I'll just get my tablespoon. So this might be a good step depending on the age of your children for them to be involved, so measuring out the corn flour. So what you would like to do, rather than having a heaped tablespoon, you just like to level it off, and I just do so by pressing on the edge of the container. So I've got a nice level teaspoon of the corn flour mixture. So we do 4 of those. So I've just got my 4. So I'll pop that aside for now. In the meantime, I might measure out my vegetables. So what we're going to do is measure out our peas. So about 300 grams of peas and corn together. I like to say that's between a cup and 2 cups. So I like to go about a cup of each veggie because mine aren't together, my peas and corn. If yours are mixed together, just do 2 cups. If they're separated, a cup of each. So any vegetables can be used in this recipe. Broccoli goes down well. I just like to make sure that I maybe give it a fine chop first if I'm using frozen broccoli or if I'm using fresh to get the smaller florets, just so that it is still just something you can eat with just a fork. You've got big pieces of broccoli in there, it just makes it a bit harder for the little ones. So there's the veggies ready to go measured, and my pasta has gone off, so I'm just going to check on it and see how it's going. So my pasta is cooked, so I'm going to drain that off now. With a colander or some other way to strain. I like to just have the colander sitting in the bottom of the sink. That way when I pour this boiling water in, no one's going to get burnt because no one's holding onto that colander. We can just sit that pasta in the colander until we add it to our sauce. My sauce is also warming up. So my milk doesn't have lots of little bubbles or anything like that, but I can see that it's steaming quite well. So I do know that it's hot. So at this point, we can start to add some of the ingredients. So what we're going to add first is our cornflour mixture. So like I said before, that's what's going to thicken up that milk so that it's not just running milk anymore. So I'm just going to really slowly, whilst I'm stirring it, pour this milk in. So we're going to leave it on the heat so that it won't thicken up straight away, but as that cornflour warms up in this hot bath of milk, it'll start to thicken. Excellent. So we're going to need 200 grams of grated cheese. So my milk's thickening up, so I'm going to pour my cheese in now. So I've just left a little bit in the bag. I'll stir the rest in. So we want that cheese to melt. So give it a good stir so it's evenly dispersed throughout the sauce first. So next to go in is your frozen vegetables or your carrots now. So this is when I start to notice that it's getting quite thick once we put our frozen veg in. So the next step, really quite easily, is we're going to mix it all together. I actually like to use the pot that I cooked the pasta in for this. Down so I can do it over here in front of you. Get my hot pot and my wonderful macaroni that I strained off earlier. It's alright if it's clumped together a little bit, that's quite normal. And once you're satisfied with the thickness of your sauce, you can pour it into your pot of pasta. So my sauce is thick now. So what we're going to do is just pour it into that pasta. Yum. It smells really good. But essentially we're just going to stir that sauce through that pasta. And you'll see that lovely stringiness happening with from the cheese. So again, yeah, so mine's holding quite well. So that's done. So that's really how easy it is to make a mac and cheese. So this can be a weeknight dinner. It can be something that we prepare ahead of time and freeze. Alrighty. But it's a beautiful creamy pasta. You can see the peas and corn in there as well. Another way that you can serve this up, so we can eat it as it is, just as a cheesy pasta. Another way I like to serve it is actually making it into a pasta bake. So this is a really good freeze and serve option. So what you can do is just get like a casserole dish, and you can scoop this mixture into your casserole dish, and then sprinkle it with some cheese. You'll still have some cheese left in your bag, and some breadcrumbs. And pop it you can pop it in the freezer until you're ready to have this for dinner. And then on those nights, you can put it in the oven at a cooler temperature. We're just going to warm it through slowly from frozen. And then you can turn the grill on crisp in the top and you'll have a beautiful pasta bake, which is a bit different as well. Bye everyone.